What's going on, boys? Viper here, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 5 skill moves that I believe will hugely benefit you moving into champs and winning drafts early on. Some of these skill moves are relatively advanced, so make sure you take your time to look at the controller on screen so you understand as well as possible. Let's get into it. So, let's talk about the flip-flap. The flip-flap is a very good skill, and it doesn't get used too much by the casuals or elite players. And the reason this doesn't get used is because everybody prefers the Elastico. And whilst the Elastico is a very overpowered skill move, we all know that. And the flip-flap offers a different dimension to the Elastico, where you can combo it quite well with a lot of skill moves, including the Elastico. So what the flip-flap offers you, it just offers you another angle to what the Elastico can, which I think is quite important. You'll see it's quite well comboed with the fake shot stop or in the middle of a skill chain. It is a 5-star skill, and I think ultimately it's quite underappreciated. You need to practice this skill move, get into the practice arena, and I'm sure you'll get used to it in no time. With that being said, let's move on to the Elastico. Right, so now we're moving on to the Elastico. And the Elastico has been my favourite skill move in FIFA for the last 3-4 years, man. I think it's the best skill move on the game. I'm sure a lot of pros would back me up on this. And with FIFA 21, you can actually chain it now. So we'll be going back to FIFA 19 days with the Elastico. The Elastico was unbelievable in FIFA 19. It's used by every pro, and it's going to be the exact same in FIFA 21 because they've changed it. Well, they haven't changed the Elastico, so to speak. They've changed the amount of skills you can chain, and this is going to make the game a lot more stressful to play in champ, believe you me. So make sure you get this in your arsenal. The great thing about the Elastico is it can create so many different angles for you, essentially the same as the flip-flap. And I think if you can combo it with the flip-flap, I think it'll be absolutely incredibly broken. I think I do combo it a few times with the flip-flap in this gameplay here, but as you can see, man, you can do so much with the Elastico. That makes it the best skill move in the game. But the one thing you do have to take into consideration is it is a 5-star skill move. But if you can get this skill move down, I guarantee you it will make you a 10 times better player. Make sure if you need to, get yourself in the practice arena and just learn it and learn it and learn it and learn it. It might take you some time because it is quite an advanced skill move. Once you've got it down, you will be a better player for it. A few quick recommendations on players if you don't know who to go for that has 5-star skills. I would suggest Wilfried Zaha, Quincy Promes, Coutinho maybe, Douglas Costa for sure, Hakim Ziyech is good enough, and Marcus Rashford if you can't afford the Neymars, the Ronaldos, so on and so forth. And now we are moving on to a skill move I bet a lot of you didn't think would be in the video, but today we are talking about the Roulette as well. And the Roulette has had a bit of a makeover this year to where it is a very viable skill move. So as you can see in the clips right now, I'm actually using the standard Roulette. And the standard Roulette is still very good if you stop and turn with it. So if you stop and then into a Roulette, very overpowered still. But the new Roulette, which I'm going to show you now, all of this as well is only a 3-star skill move, by the way, so take that into consideration. On the new Roulette, what it does is it creates quite a lot of momentum. It's almost a speed boost, which is quite overpowered, and it beats defenders quite easily. So make sure you're getting this into your repertoire as well. It seems quite easy to do, so just make sure you're watching the controller, maybe go into the practice arena again with this one. Next up, lads, is the heel to heel, and the heel to heel is a skill move that I didn't really use too much in FIFA 20. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't think it was that good in FIFA 20, and maybe still usable a little bit, but not as good as it is or was in FIFA 19 or as good as it is in FIFA 20. So to do this skill move, it's very easy, just up and down on the analog. 4-star skill move, quite good at beating defenders, and the reason it is so good at beating defenders is because it's impossible for the AI to lock onto it, nor can the human control player. And I don't know why this is, it must be a bug in the game, but that is the reason the heel to heel is so good. It's very good on the edge of the box, around the D sort of area, and if you have no options and the idea is to go direct, that is when you'll find the heel to heel having a high success rate. Most of you probably already know about this skill move, but if you don't, make sure you add it into your game. Right, so now we're moving on to the Lacricetta, and I think the Lacricetta is the most accessible, overpowered skill move in FIFA, and it has been for a few years now. Even in FIFA 20, it was probably one of the best skill moves in the game, and obviously we know what it was like in FIFA 19. Still very good in FIFA 20, very usable, very overpowered, and definitely, in my opinion, the most effective. And to be honest, in FIFA 21, it is no different to what it was in FIFA 20. Just as good, great at beating your last man. Either way you go, you know, you've got a 50-50 chance of beating the last man, and then being one-on-one on goal. And for me, that is so important, especially in a game with as narrow margins as FIFA. The Lacricetta is the best skill move in a high intensity game from what I found in FIFA 21. It's probably the most reliable skill move you can do, especially with how manual the defending is on FIFA 21, as it is anyway, and EA, don't change that, please. The Lacricetta will really help you in them scenarios even more than it would do in 20 because of how manual the defending is, and that's why skill moves like these I'm showing you are going to be so overpowered in FIFA 21. Make sure you keep keeping your eyes firmly on the gameplay so you can see where I personally think the best areas are to use it. You can also see that I draw quite a few penalties from using a Lacricetta. You also want to use this skill move in tandem with the fake shot stop, Rabona or L2 fake shot. That is how you'll find success with this skill move, obviously because now you can't use it the same way you could in FIFA 19, although you probably could train it once or twice. With that being said, lads, that is going to be the end for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, and if you're not already, please subscribe. I stream every single day over on twitch.tv/Fightalization, so if you haven't already, please go give me a follow there. I will also put the link to my Twitter in the description if you want to go follow me there as well. But until the next video, lads, I hope you enjoyed. More tutorials coming, and I'll see you in the next one.